project, I'm going to be showing you how to make a stunning pair of earrings using flat mesh. I love this project because you can use very few materials to make a very dazzling pair of earrings in no time. Well, if you are wanting to know what materials I am using for this project, you can check out the video description. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nilay Patel. I'm the owner, designer, and educator at SilverSilk and more. And before we get started with today's project, I want you guys to destroy that subscribe button in my YouTube channel. And if you're looking for even more inspiration, you can check out and follow my Instagram. So without further delay, let's get into tonight's project. All right, so I flipped the camera around and we've got a few materials and tools that I want to cover before we get started with the actual crafting of our earrings. So the two tools that you really need for the entire project are just a pair of wide flat flat nose pliers that look like this. These are from Weber's, and I went ahead and dipped them in Tool Magic, which is a really great substance that is liquid, and then you dip it, and like magic, it actually coats your tools into a rubberized tip there. And this is great if you don't want to scratch your findings, but also it gives you a better grip on whatever you are trying to crimp or just get a handle on. So I really love these pair of pliers for that reason, and especially when they're dipped in Tool Magic. Also, you'll want your pair of Lindstrom or whatever brand they may be that is your favorite pair of cutters. Lindstrom happens to be my favorite. I have really did some cutting with these in my years of jewelry making. So they've actually, stayed with me time and time again and have remained very sharp. So I really like them and enjoy using them. And so I kind of recommend them to all of our folks out there that love to craft and make jewelry. As far as materials go, I have a pair of earring hooks. I've got some 26 gauge craft wire that I just cut into little strips there. This is what the packaging looks like. It is from Soft Flex wire and gold colored to match my findings. And as you can see, it is 26 gauge. So the amount of wire that I'm using is actually about, probably just a few inches of wire, and you'll need 2 of those. So if you grab, 6 inches off your spool, you could just split it in half after that, and you'll have plenty of wire to work with there. So I just have a couple of pieces of wire there. And then I've got these really great crimp ends from TierraCast. So these are the crescent crimp ends, and they don't have any teeth inside, and yet they are very strong. They're actually a pewter metal, and then the company is manufacturing their findings here in USA, and they're very high quality, and the plating is just gorgeous. This is the gold, antique gold, I believe, is the plating, and you can grab these from beadshop.com if you would like to grab some of those, and I think they have, in fact, a couple different types of shapes too. But I just love these. I think they're a great addition to especially the shape that we're going to be creating with our flat mesh. It's just really going to complement it quite well. So I just got a couple of those. And then where I think this is a really effective project is that you can use up a lot of your scraps that you might have saved with your flat mesh. So don't throw away any of those scraps because they always come in handy. I just picked out some colors. I've got olive, I've got dark rose, and I've got the beautiful lotus color here. If you're not familiar with what flat mesh is, it's a type of jewelry chain that is a 6-needle weave that goes through 2 processes to become the chain that it is. The first process is the actual knitting. So 6 needles twist and turn the wire into a beautiful round sleeve that is knitted, and then that sleeve goes through a secondary apparatus to then flatten it into this particular chain, and comes in 15 different colors. It is about 5 millimeters in width, and comes in 5-foot spools. So I just love combining all the different colors together. I think that's probably where I just kind of sit and stare and think of all the different possibilities that I could come up with, color combination wise, because it's just unbelievable. But if you should end up with scraps, this will be the project for you then. So here I just have 2 strips that are 4.5 inches. And mind you, I'm kind of covering one earring at a time here. So really, you'll probably want a total of like 9 inches of the lotus, and then another 9 inches of the dark rose, and then about 8 inches of the olive. And then you can cut all of those in half, right? So then you have plenty for your earrings. They're not all equal length. I will say 2 of them are, but the third one isn't. This is going to help to stagger your colors so that they don't appear to just be laying on top of each other. If you're going to use a bunch of colors, you want to definitely show it off, right? So you need to learn like kind of to stagger a little bit to be able to show those colors. So I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to set my other pair here aside. And I'm going to work with this right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your craft wire, and you're going to grab one of your SilverSilks. It really doesn't matter which one you start with. The trick here is that because this is I think the most fascinating part is that there's knits across this, right? So you can use those tiny little holes to your design advantage. And it doesn't fray because it's made out of wire, and that's just the type of knitting technology that it is. So it doesn't, since it doesn't fray, it's going to have a nice strong hold whenever you do go with your other materials through those knits. So you can start to stack these guys on one at a time onto your wire. So now that I have it all on my little piece of wire, I'm going to do the same thing, but to the other end. So I'll just start with one color, stack it right through, and then it looks like I had the olive green. So I'm going to stack that one up next. And then I had my rose color, so I'm going to stack that one at last. So you can start to see that these all just stack together quite well and play nicely as they're sort of being stacked up there. So that's perfect. That's exactly the effect that I'm going for. So now I just need to secure the tip of this flat mesh gathering that I've got up here. So what I did was I just kind of wrapped the wire around a few times. And because I've already got it sewn through the knits, it's not going to shift or move a whole lot. I don't want to get it too wrapped up. I just want to do a few of the wraps and then grab my cutters and just clip them off. There we go. Just enough to get it secure. And you do want to keep it near the tip, hopefully as well as you can, only because the rest of it is going to be nested inside of the crimp as such. So then you can overlay your crimp right on top of that wire knot that you made, and then just grab your flat nose pliers and just give it a good squeeze. Just tug on it to make sure it's secure. And then if you want to, you can kind of go back up and fluff some of these knitted wires through if you want to, just to kind of get it laying the way that you want it to. But otherwise, you've got a very colorful hoop there of different flat mesh colors. And then you can, of course, go back in and you can either attach beads to this, or you can just be simplistic and minimalist and just attach your earring hook right to the front there and call that an earring. So let me show you again while we're here. So I'm going to grab my piece of wire. This is again probably about 3 inches of craft wire, 26 gauge craft wire from Softflex Company. And then I'm just going to repeat the same stringing pattern as I did before. You're just going to go with the olive green first. And you want to go about a couple knits in from the end there. And you do want to make sure that you shake off any of the extra little wire fuzzies that like to come out. So when you clip the wire, when you trim the wire, or the chain here, there's sometimes some residual little wire pieces that like to kind of stick onto the end. And you can just take your chain nose pliers and just pluck those little guys right off. and that'll help to keep everything nice and clean. So I think I did the dark rose next. And then the lotus. And then going back in with my olive green. And then I'll stack my dark rose here on. Now you want to make sure that there's no twisting. You don't want to have your chain here twisted. So just give it a good like shake and just kind of wrap it back around to have it string nice and flat as such. And then let's see, I think the end one here came loose. There we go. Okay, once you've got all those strung on, you can wrap just the top part of that flat mesh. Give it a good pinch if you want to. Looks like I wrapped a little extra there that I didn't need to, but I can trim that off. I just wrapped it a couple times. You don't need to go again over the top or anything, just enough to secure it in place. And then the flat mesh, the flat crimp end there, the crimp ends from Tierra Cast will do the rest of the work for you. Okay, so once I've done that, I can grab my crimp there. If you want to, and if they're just closed ever so slightly, you can actually open up this little end cap with a pair of chain nose pliers just to get it a little bit more open, because a couple millimeters does make a huge difference in the comfort of crimping all of this. So, and it is made out of pewter, so it's a softer metal, right? So you can go in and crimp this pretty easily, and you can, take it apart just as with much ease if you want to readjust or, change out the colors or something down the road. So that looks really good. And I'm going to open up this earring and close it back up. And I have got an instant, amazing, cute, cute, cute pair of earrings on the go, and using quite a few of my flat mesh colors that I'm very, very happy with as well. So that is our project for today. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did teaching it. I just enjoy these little tutorials that are fast, fun, and fabulous. If you're looking for more tutorials, you can check out my YouTube channel, and while you're there, please do subscribe. I've got a ton of different tutorial videos on all the different SilverSilk chains that I have, and the playlists are organized according to the type of chain, so you can find those tutorials very easily. You can, again, also follow my Instagram, and on there I've got a lot of different content, everything from reels on how stuff is made and to show you a quick snapshot of it, all the way to inspirational photos of some designs that are either tutorial based or just stuff that I've done. So there's some great inspiration to be had over there. And then you can also check out my Silkies group, which we're just doing a ton of different projects on in that group, and really sharing some great camaraderie and great designs as well. So again, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you guys again for the next one. Mwah!